right?
Yeah. All right. An hour later now, for those that might not know the context watching this, there was an hour-long tech delay
It
with
was that long.
EG. Yeah, it's been a while, which by all means, like the devs did a great job of filling the void. I'm not sure what you guys were doing during that time.
Shooting content, I think. We should
Wait,
have live though. It would have been something to watch.
so, okay, I'm curious because I know nothing about the inner workings of the LCS. When a game ends, I know you guys like do press interviews with like us. You guys were on broadcast. You, Chime, and who else was with? There was 3 of you on there, but you do like all your interviews and stuff. What do you do after that then? Like, what's the normal course of the day once the games are done?
Normal thing to do. I mean, the big thing, you go backstage, talk about the game for a little bit. You go do press. You go do maybe you'll talk to the casters or something, and then go back home, do a full review, get ready for the next day, sort of thing. It's usually pretty straightforward.
I don't know. So, like, when delays like this happen, does that throw you guys off as well, even if your game is done?
Not really. Because we're like kind of shaking and moving. By the time we, see whatever's happening in the next game, they're already like halfway through, so it doesn't really affect us too much. The only thing is like maybe at the end of the day you have to do prep and they're the last game or something, then maybe you have to wait for them to finish so you can see like what the hell you're gonna play against tomorrow.
Gotcha. Speaking of your match tomorrow, you guys have Golden Guardians, I believe, right? So, big game. Obviously, with you guys being 6th place right now in the standings, not necessarily a must-win, but you pick up a win there, it's pretty big. How you guys feeling going into it?
Yeah, I think for us right now, I mean, there's games that we need to win. Today was definitely one of those. And then we just want to win, like, against some of the top teams, just so that we can, one, just create some cushion for the playoff spot, but also, like, if we win against GGS and then maybe, like, win a couple more games before the end of the year or the split, we might be able to be, like, 5th place. So I think that's on our mind as well, just trying to be as comfortable playoff spot as we can be.
Gotcha. The Vel'Koz today. Did you have any clue that it was coming? Have you guys scrimmed against it at all?
We haven't scrimmed against it, but I mean, we do our prep, so we knew that Vel'Koz was like on the table, and we talked about a little bit, like, is this something he's gonna play into Annie? What do we think? And we were like, we'll see. But we knew it was coming, so we weren't like super surprised. But we haven't played against it in a really long time. So I guess more of the surprise was just how effective it was. Like, I was just kind of blown away how much damage he was doing when he got his ulti off. But as the game progressed, we got more and more comfortable, and we knew how to play around it more. So I think that was like kind of the big thing, was just getting time to dissect like what the issue was and what the champion does effectively, and counter that.
So that brings... I apologize if you hear my dog barking
No,
or
you're
doing anything in the background. She... her toys under my feet. You said it's a lot of problem solving in-game. Looking back on it now and even looking into the future, is this something that you guys feel like you can incorporate into your team comps in the future? Like, when you play against something like this, is it just one of those that, you know what, this was his pocket pick, it is what it is? Or is it something that you're looking at now saying, okay, maybe Vel'Koz is an angle, can we try it, can we test it in scrims?
I'd have to ask Maple. I don't know. I mean, you want to take like away some stuff if you think it's good and effective. But I don't know. I'd have to ask Maple if he really wants to play Vel'Koz. But I think if it looks good, maybe you... I mean, the surprise factor is kind of like the biggest thing whenever you're doing pocket picks, so you have to think about that. Like, if somebody's done it before, then it's probably going to have less of an effect than doing it a second time. But you always want to like consider like what's good, even though people are playing it a lot. And I think we've done that a little bit this split. Like, I mean, the Cho'Gath specifically that we played earlier on, even Scion, we were playing it before a lot of people were playing it. Like, just picks that you think could be effective, and then sometimes they get picked up and they become really meta, and sometimes it's just like they haven't played against a champion in a while, they don't know how to deal with it. Maybe they're a little bit nervous playing against it, they don't want to mess up. So it helps, but you gotta be really careful that you're not just like falling into a bait pick just because they look like kind of successful. There's a lot of picks that like seem like they could be good in the right scenario, but if you force them into bad scenarios, then they become like really ineffective.
Gotcha. Two final questions I got for you, and then I'll let you go. First, have you been on Twitter at all today by chance?
Something happening.
Yes, it's more like a general question. Cloud9's social media guy, I am forgetting his name at the current moment. Yeah. Tweeted out earlier.
Tweet, that's what you meant.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had any thoughts on it, because there's been a lot of community discussion, but not a lot of like player input on what your guys' role is in terms of promoting yourselves, creating content, or anything else around that to try and help grow things in addition to playing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think exactly. I got the gist of the quote. I mean, basically he's saying like being a pro player is more than just playing the game. It's making content and building your brand image. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. That's pretty much the
No, that's it.
Okay, so I mean, I kind of get what he's saying. I think that, I mean, you should do content for your team. I mean, they write your checks, like, you know, if they want to film some stupid ass video, you know, you just show up and you do your job. I mean, that is part of the deal. As far as like really being social media, being like a big personality and trying to be like your own kind of like image in the space, I think that is a little bit more nuanced, because I mean, it's great to like want to promote people and have everyone be like their own type of character, but I think for a lot of people it's hard to open up and be like, you know, try to be that in the face of the fan base. Myself included, like, I'm not really that big of a person on social media. I do all the content. I love doing the content. If somebody has a video they want to do, I'll be like, yeah, man, let's shoot it. You know, I'm all about that, but it's tough to just be like, you know, this is my life and expose yourself so much. So I'm kind of like halfway there on it. Like, I do think that it's important for players to be more open to content and being social media relevant, but I don't want to like just expose my life to like a bunch of fans. So that's kind of where I'm at it.
Do you think there's anything though that like players can do that's not obviously like day in the life vlog, like as you said, really exposing your life, but more so just, I don't know, shedding light on personality? It just feels like there's a lot of, at least in the last 2 years from the outside observation, we're watching people play. Yeah. It's hard to get a sense of like who people are individually. Do you think there's things that people could be doing, even if it's not content, to just really like try and just get people to be more relatable to them? Because it definitely feels like if you're in the NFL, you know, you run a great 40-yard dash at the combine and all of a sudden you got a name for yourself. We're no longer at that point in League of Legends where it's like you can make one good play and all of a sudden your career's made.
Yeah, I think LCS is trying to do more about that this year. I mean, they've been a lot better at having players be in the spotlight. I think that's just really what you need. I mean, you need to pick people who, you know, obviously have a passion to kind of be, you know, personality in the league, but also like are talented at showcasing their kind of like wit or humor, and then just giving them the opportunity. I think that like we had a little you know, show on the couch, not show on, but we did like little post-game thing on the couch with the three of us, and I thought that was really good. Like, everyone got to see how we interact as players, and I think that's what people want to know, is just what the behind the scenes is. Like, how do these guys actually interact with each other? So I think just trying to do more stuff like that where it's just very raw. I don't know if you watch F1, but I've been saying for a while, like, some of the best stuff in F1 is just getting the racers in a room, like, after the match, after the race, and just like having them talk and just hang out. And sometimes it's like whatever, and sometimes you get some really cool nuggets. And I think having like players just interact with each other more on camera and like in the space, just either through interviews, which they've done a little bit more, like players interviewing interviews, all that stuff is like what you really want. I think that's kind of like the big thing that's really going to help people connect a little bit more, because you're right that it's like tough to see like what people are doing because you're just like playing on a computer all the time. You know, you don't even get to see like how they interact with in like a traditional sport when they're like on the court together, or you know, on the field. You can actually see them a little bit, but Here it's like you're just in a game. So besides like the all chatting bullshit that happens, which you don't even really get to see,
Yeah.
because they took that away. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I'm down for more of it. I think that LCS has been doing a good job of promoting it so far.
I've got a recommendation if you're down for it. So I'm a big Call of Duty fan. I've been that way since like 2012, 2013. And one of the great pieces of content that's kind of come out of the COD scene in the last 3 years is after game days, there's a few former pros that basically just have a podcast and like talk about the game, but you have a bunch of pro players that will just hop in a Discord server and just chat. Like it's nothing special. It's literally just them either talking shit on each other a little bit or just like busting about the games and like what went wrong, etc. And you have like one retired pro kind of leading it. That would be so simple for one of you guys to just throw up a live stream, just have everybody join a chat and just talk, just shoot the shit. Like you don't got to do anything special, just talk. And I promise you, you'd have 15, 20,000 viewers. If over the course of a year, if you start doing that consistently, easy.
I do think, yeah, that is definitely what people want to see. And I think we have that to some degree with like some of the streamers like Dominate, like K-Joel, like Double If when he was doing his co-streams and stuff. So they've done like okay, like bringing in former pros and having them talk a little bit. I think because the way NA is like not being as successful internationally, I feel like sometimes players don't want to go on there because they just want to get ripped up for not playing so well.
But screw them though, because like by all means, the fans are gonna talk shit. That's fine. When you go on and you take control of that narrative and you're the one like discussing it, being like, guys, yeah, you know what, we didn't win MSI or Worlds, but you know what, we still gave it our all. You know, screw you. Like there's so much power that you guys have to take control of the narrative that you could do in a heartbeat. That I really hope at some point it does come.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of positive in being like transparent and vulnerable. So hopefully we see more of it. But I think that'd be a great idea for players just have a forum they could talk a little bit more openly on.
I don't want to take up any more of your time. Just so you know, we are having a TSM in New York City LCS watch party tomorrow night at a bar out in Brooklyn. Anything you want to say to the New York City TSM fans that'll be there?
You know, that's awesome that we have some fans over there watching. You know, dress warmly.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah, hopefully we get a win. I think they were a little bit slow playing, but I think tomorrow will be a little bit more loose, and hopefully we'll have like a good early game, and we can make it exciting versus GGS, and hopefully we get a win so that they're not stressing out so much coming into the next week. Because you know we got to get some distance between us and some of the other people trying to chase playoffs. So hope for the best.
Best of luck, man. Don't let me hold you up anymore. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Adios.